been thinking about making ASMR videos because I enjoy them a lot, and his suggestion was to do something that you're already good at and something you already know how to do. So since when I was watching this video, I was actually knitting this. I decided why not record it and do a little, try my hand at whispering. So what I'm making here is a hat for one of my roommates. It's actually a Christmas present, a very late Christmas present, because I've been so busy. This is my last semester before I graduate from my undergraduate, so I'm actually still in my dorm now, trying to just relax, knitting, watching ASMR videos, and decided I should maybe share my knitting with you all. So these are size 7 circular knitting needles. They're actually detachable. You can screw them off, and you can change the size of the cable or add thicker needles. So now if I could get it back on, that'd be great. Yeah, so you just screw it back on. It's very easy. Sometimes it comes a little loose when you're knitting, but it's not that big of a deal. Save you a lot on buying, you know, each needle in different size cables, and it's just interchangeable and much easier. So, well, I guess I better start. Well, like I said, this is a hat. I already have the ribbing done. This is the bottom of the hat. It's this 2x2 ribbing, which means makes it nice and stretchy. This right here is the knit stitch. That's a little messy there. And this is purl right here. So now I've actually started the design, which is, it's called a light and lacy spring hat. And I'm using a pattern from Ravelry, which I will post in the description box. So I did not make this pattern up, but it is quite nice. So I'm just going to start, I suppose. And yeah, I really love the sound these aluminum needles make. I've been knitting now for about a year and a half, I would say, and I taught myself from YouTube. So YouTube is great for learning new things. I'm sure you're aware. Same way I learned about ASMR was through YouTube, very randomly. My first ASMR artist that I saw was Veni Vidi Volpis, I think is their name, and I was so fascinated by just her voice and how relaxed it made me feel. So right now, this is called the pattern repeat, which you keep doing. In this case, it's a series of 12, stitches that form the design that you want. And let me get to the end of this one right here, and I'll tell you what each of these stitches that I'm doing are called. Yeah, so just knit one, and then I yarn over again. Then I knit two. And then the next thing I do is a special technique. It says SSK is the abbreviation, and that means slip, slip, knit. So what you do is you slip it as if to knit, slip it as if to knit. Then take your left needle, go under those two over here, and now knit through the back of these two. And that's a decreasing stitch. And the last 3 stitches are just regular purl, so you insert the needle like this. Purl 1, purl 2, and purl 3. And that is the end of those 12 stitches, so I get to do it again. So while I'm doing this, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about my experience with knitting and such. So I actually learned how to crochet first, which, if you don't know the difference between crocheting and knitting, it is that crochet, you just use one hook, and knitting, you obviously use at least 2. Sometimes you use 4 or more when you want to make something small that is circular or tubular, like a sock or a hat. Like when I get to the crown of the hat, once I have more done, I'll have to go to about 4 or 5 small double-pointed needles. So it looks crazy, but once you learn how to do it, it's really not. Let's see where I was. Okay. Then I slip, knit. The worst thing is when you mess up in the middle of a row, because knitting is very hard to go back and fix things, at least for me, since I consider myself only maybe intermediate experience. And since we're in a circle, I have what's called a stitch marker, and it shows me that I'm back at the beginning and I'm starting my next row. Normally, if you're knitting flat, it's when you get to the end of a needle and you have to turn everything over, but you don't turn things over when you're going in a circle. So now I have to do a different amount of stitches for this row. This is row 2 of the hat body, and I'm supposed to knit 9, purl 3, so it's another 12 stitches that I do 8 times, because I have 96 stitches in this entire circle. So I will knit 9 and purl 3 8 times. I think I was starting to say, before I changed my train of thought, that I learned to crochet before I learned to knit, and that was about, I guess, 2 years ago now. And I also learned from YouTube. And it was all because, well, I tried to learn from a book that I bought at either Michael's or AC Moore, but it was very difficult. I'm a very visual person, and I need to see somebody actually, showing me how to do these techniques, such as learning how to make a chain and crocheting in the round, or doing single, double, triple crochet, which I should do a video on next, I think. And that was so I could make my friend a Christmas gift, and the first thing I crocheted was a Pokeball, and that was fun. I can show you sometime some of the things that I've crocheted and knit. That could be fun. And I find crocheting to be a little easier, less unless you're doing Tunisian crochet, which is more like a combination of knitting and crocheting. And so crochet I would recommend to learn how to do before trying to knit, but I mean, I think a lot of people learn from their grandmothers or their moms. And my mom did help me try and learn to crochet, but she didn't really know much beyond how to do double crochet. So, and both of my grandparents, well, both sets of grandparents that I have, I never met because they passed before I was born. So, I'm sure they probably knew how to do these things too. Anyway, and if I ever lose track of where I am, you can kind of tell these were the purl stitches because these have bumps here, and these are knit because they don't. You can kind of see between this and this one, right? So since it was 3 and then I'm supposed to do 9, I have to do one more knit. So yeah, crochet and knitting are great because you can not only make things for yourself, but I wind up making a lot of stuff for my friends and family, and they feel like very, you know, handmade, appreciated gifts. So I've made scarves and hats and socks, and I've crocheted amigurumi, which you may never have heard of the name, but they're actually, I guess you could call them stuffed animals, kind of, that are crocheted very tightly, and you stuff them with fiber fill, and they take very little yarn, and they're very satisfying to make. I think, yeah, this might be just a short video, a little introduction of what I'm about. My battery seems to be running out, so I hope you found this relaxing, and give me some feedback and let me know what you'd like to see. I can show different techniques of knitting and crocheting. I like video games. I study foreign languages, so I could do some Spanish and German videos as well. Just thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.